Hi, my name is Ellie, and in this video, I'm just going to be going over the process of my first 10 days of Inktober. I decided quite late into September that I would be joining Inktober, but I did decide to start off strong with a full illustration of my two little dogs. Their names are Missy and Maya, and it was my husband's idea to draw them on clouds. We like to joke that when they lay on the queen-size bed that is way too big for them, that they're pretty sure they're just laying on a cloud, and that's how this idea came to be. I haven't illustrated too many dogs in the past couple years, so I was feeling a little bit rusty, but it was nice to come back to and see how I could do my dogs justice. Missy, the lighter one on the right though, I always struggle with her face for some reason. I think I did okay. I still mess with her a little bit towards the end, but in the end they both turned out super cute, and I think the clouds look pretty good as well. There's some things I would change if I had more time possibly, but overall, just a cute little puppy illustration. I'm pretty happy with it. Overall, it's a pretty strong start for a series of illustrations that has some heavy hitters and some that are just okay, which I'm pretty sure is how everyone's Inktober goes, so I'm trying not to be too hard on myself about that, and we can move on to the next one. Okay, day 2 I feel like requires a little bit more explanation, especially because I jump right into thumbnailing out some very dramatic lighting. Basically, the prompt that Inktober officially has for this day is discover, and I thought that doing some lore for my original character would fit this well. She is in a situation where she gets powers at a very young age, and she discovers them and just does not understand what's going on, and they're painful and they're showy, and she's just confused. I was trying really hard to kind of show a confused expression. I'm not sure if I got that part through, but just the dark room, but the brightness of her hands and just the unnaturalness of it all. And in the end, I think the lighting turned out pretty well for how long it took me to do this, and I like it more than some other attempts at similar drawings I've done for this character, so I am really happy with how it turned out, and I will be able to talk more about her lore in a few days, a little bit anyway. And we've come to our first fan art of the week. I am a One Piece fan, love it or hate it. I am going to make fan art for it, and the official Inktober prompt for this day was boots, and my literal first thought was the boots that they wear in the Egghead arc that just ended in the manga and is currently going on in the anime. There are these super funky looking futuristic, how do you walk in those boots, and they all have different colors of them, and I was just wanting to show that. It took so long to find markers to make them all look similar but also different colors from each other, and I just had a lot of fun kind of doodling in my sketchbook, but I wanted them all in a line and it just would not fit. So I ended up having to take it digitally, and I also did those little squares to show off the colors a little bit more because I just thought it was a cool addition to kind of pinpoint each individual Straw Hat's color, and people online liked it. I think it was fun, and you can't really go wrong with just a little bit of fun fan art, I don't think. I like it. And we have come back into OC lore. Please do not pay attention to the fact that I do not know how to draw fight scenes. I did my absolute best here. This is me practicing. I need practice, so we'll get there eventually. The idea here is she's in a group of kids. They're all got these superpowers, and they're training, fighting, and they're not supposed to interfere with anyone else's fights, but that their character is interfering with hers and just trying to help her out because she might be struggling a little bit. But I just did my best to do the poses. I found a bunch of random kid karate pictures and tried to make it just look like a room where they could tussle in, I guess. I did my best and just did some grayscale, and by the time I was done, I was bored of the grayscale, so I threw a color on top, made it a slight red, and I think it turned out good for a little bit of a practice. Not my favorite, though. And we've made it to day 5. I've lost the screen recordings for this one, so it's just the Procreate speed paint. I hope you don't mind. But we're back to fan art. I didn't intentionally flip-flop, but I think it's working out pretty well. The Inktober prompt today was binoculars, and I immediately thought of Usopp from One Piece, Sumi. So I decided to draw him with the binoculars. Surprise, surprise. I hadn't done a full illustration of him, I don't think, ever. So it was really fun to kind of do it for the first time and play with the colors, figure out how I want to do it. As you can see, I was really trying to focus on where to put the shading, and then I figured out what colors to put on there. And the background is based off of a background he was standing in front of on Fishman Island, if you were wondering. I think it's really pretty, so I just had to steal it and copy it and put it on there. And I think in the end, it turned out pretty well. It's just kind of a basic little illustration, and Usopp needed some love. Oh my god, y'all, this one. Okay, I don't know how many people have gotten to play or watch playthroughs of the game Mouthwashing, but it is so good. It is very dark and triggering, though. If you have any triggers, I would look them up beforehand. It gets crazy, but it's so good. And this character, Anya, her story stuck in my brain to the point that I had to remove one of the things I was going to draw and replace it with this idea. I just could not get her out of my head. So first I do this little alcohol marker, this ahhhh portrait in my sketchbook, and then I take a picture of it and I move it into a digital canvas, as you see here. I clear up all the white outline and I just start going crazy. First I start by blacking out her eyes, put this line from the game over her eyes. And then I just was playing around trying to make it feel compositionally correct. I put some words from the game all over it and ended up kind of surrounding her with the words, trying to decide what color I wanted the I told you, and then just continuing to mess with it and mess with it and mess with it. And then I at the end could not decide where I wanted the words, and I ended up with the I told you over her mouth because of what the story entails for her. It feels really weird to just move on from that, but I don't want to spend too long on anything, so we are going to move on. This one is definitely a different atmosphere from the rest that I've done, just like the one before it. It's supposed to be a little bit uncomfortable. You can tell that the girl really doesn't want to be there doing what she's doing. But she is, and she's going with it. A little bit later, I'm playing with lighting again. They're supposed to be in a dark room. So I play with making everything else look dark, but having some lighting on them that shows their colors a little bit. There's a layer that has just flat colors, and then using some of the lighting layers that are available in Procreate, I'm able to kind of edit it, make it look like it's a bit more rendered than it is. And I think it turned out really cool. I had a lot of fun playing with all the different layers and rendering and stuff, and I kind of went a bit symbolic with the lighting. If you know what red lights can symbolize that is on her side, then you'll catch the drift a little bit. I'm not really going to go into depth on that in a YouTube video, but if you know, you know. And I didn't post this on Facebook because it's a little bit inappropriate, but I like it, and I can do adult things sometimes. It's fine. I like it, okay? And I hope that maybe y'all do too. Find an audience for it. Okay, so this next one is my favorite. I might be biased because it's Nico Robin. If you watch my sketchbook tour, you know I'm obsessed with her. But I started with this vague concept in my head. I wanted to do a bunch of hands. I had the idea of her hat getting thrown and just her in the Alabasta outfit, potentially losing a bit of control. So I went crazy with my alcohol marker and didn't record anything. That's why you're seeing the Procreate video. I was just so in the zone. This was incredibly therapeutic for me. I just drew and just played with it and made it look a way that is just visually appealing to me and just made me happy. So even if not a lot of people online like this one, I just feel really freaking attached to it. My husband, for one, said he can't tell what's going on, but I don't think there's an exact thing going on. Like, the hands aren't doing anything super specific. It's just to have cool hands and kind of make it feel a bit off, because it is off. And I just really enjoy this one, and I'm gonna stare at it forever. And this next one I have very little time because it was so quick. It's not bad, it's quick. So this one is Luffy, also from One Piece. The prompt was sun, and I immediately thought of him, sun, the dawn, just bringing justice everywhere he goes, and I wanted to reference Skypiea with a silhouette, so here we go. That's the whole thing. It was literally the quickest. I had some clouds, messed with the sun, and that was it. It took like no time at all, but it's fun. I like it. And just like that, we're on day 10 out of 10. This one, I decided to do a Naruto happy birthday. I haven't done a lot of Naruto fan art this year, but, you know, it just lined up perfectly. And I just had this kind of strange idea to do Naruto and Kurama as little babies, kind of facing each other like twins would in the womb. When I say it out loud and when I was getting reference photos for it, definitely very weird. But I do think it turned out cute. I went with like a little colored pencil children's book kind of aesthetic. If I had spent a little bit more time on it, I maybe could have made it a bit more detailed, but I do think it's kind of cute, and I love his little paws and Naruto's yellow hair, and they're just really cute, and I think it's a good way to end what was occasionally a very tense 10 days. I hope y'all enjoyed. And please tell me what your favorite is down below. Everyone online seems to really love day 6, the Anya mouthwashing one. I obviously love the Robin one I was going off about. Just let me know what your favorite is, and I'll see you soon.